is your MVP? And there's so many different things that I've seen. Reasons why it should be Cal. Reasons why it should be Judge. And to me, at the end of the day, like, what makes somebody valuable? Helping their team win. And there's really only 2, maybe 3 things that really tells us what they contributed to their team's wins. Now, there's a lot of other little things, and you could try and say, yeah, but like a hit. A hit has value, but a hit doesn't always equate to a run. Now, you could say, all right, well, now that pitcher has to throw more pitches, so maybe you're getting to a relief pitcher quicker. There's so many little things that, yes, do play a factor, but I think the easiest way to just know who was the most valuable is runs scored, RBIs, and defensive runs saved, which Baseball Savant calls it a little bit different. What's theirs? Theirs is fielding run value. So let's pull the numbers up. All right. Fielding run value is a StatCast metric for capturing a player's measurable defensive performance by converting all of StatCast's individual defensive metrics from different scales onto the same run-based scale, which can then be read as a player being worth X amount of runs above or Y runs below average. Catchers do get a bump. They have obviously a lot more, especially compared to a position player. They are regularly affecting the game defensively, having to handle the ball every single pitch, or unless it's put in play. Now, we don't hurt Cal because he's playing a position that does affect the game more. Once again, that just makes him more valuable. So odds are he's going to have more defensive run save or fielding run value. Cal has a fielding run value of 7. So he is +7, saving 7 runs. Let's go to Judge. Judge has 5 runs with his range and his arm. Saved 3 via his range, saved 2 via his arm. Cal, on that, sorry, I didn't tell you his, being 7, he saved 7 runs with framing, 1 with throwing, and actually lost a run on blocking. All right, so Cal has a 2-run bump on Judge there. But then the 2 other stats, to me, that's just so simple, is runs scored and RBIs, because a single might end up scoring a run. So it's not like we're going to sit there and say singles aren't worth it, doubles aren't worth it, triples aren't worth it. We only want home runs. I mean, we like home runs because it's a guaranteed run and a guaranteed RBI. But we don't just go off of RBIs, because sometimes, especially guys like Cal and Judge, sometimes they're scoring runs not via the home run that they hit. Sometimes they're hitting a single or a double or a triple. But once again, that doesn't mean anything, because unless they actually score, not much value there, right? So that's why I count both runs and RBIs. So on this year, Aaron Judge scored 137 runs and had 114 RBIs. Cal scored 110 runs, 125 RBIs. That would give us 256 for Judge, 242 for Cal. At the end of the day, the thing that is going to help your team win ball games is either putting runs on the board or keeping runs from scoring. And if you add that all up, Judge is at 256, Cal is at 242. And I already know people, but Cal plays catcher. I know. And he did save 2 more runs than Judge did. So, if we're going to break it down to the most simple thing and not just try to count all the different possible variables of how one is better than the other, it's just putting runs on the board or keeping runs from scoring. And Judge has him there by 14. So at the end of the day, to me, the simplest way to just be like, what's the tiebreaker? They both played fantastically. Cal did bring more value on the defensive side, but not by enough. Not by enough. At the end of the day, Judge still plays a big factor out there in the outfield. One, he's not slow by any means, so he does have very good range, and he's got an amazing arm. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing to me. If I had to go, and I know I'm a Yankee fan, but I was rooting for Cal big time because it was just so impressive what he did. But the people who are – I hate MVP fatigue. When people are like, oh, but it's Cal. He's done something that's never been done before. I don't think that Aaron Judge should have won the MVP a couple years back when he took it over Ohtani. I personally feel that Ohtani should have taken the MVP back in 2022. The reason why he didn't? Why? Aaron Judge set the record for American League home runs in a single season. And so, it's never been done before. It's never been done before. I don't care. That's not what the award is. I don't think Judge should have won the MVP back in 2022, but I do think that he should win it in 2025 because although what Cal did this year as a catcher is phenomenal, is amazing. Once again, it's not the most outstanding performance award, first to ever do it award. It is the most valuable player award. And value is runs. That's the only tangible, true, actual value is runs scored, runs batted in, or runs saved on the defensive side. Now, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are and why, but don't come at me with but Cal's a catcher. But we've never seen a catcher do this before. Once again, we've already addressed that. That's not what this award is for. I agree that Cal this year has had one of the most exciting seasons we've ever seen, especially considering the fact that he's a catcher. I am 100% on board for that. And a switch hitter on top of it. But that's not what the award is for. But let me know what you think. I love ya. Peace.